So season 4, this is the big conclusion. I mean, what can you tease about what's coming up? Nothing.
Comes out summer 2020.
There's a new character. There's a new character. I'm like remembering the bullet points of like what you can say, but I'm gonna make it very natural. Yeah, there's a new character. It's very. What else?
Who is the new character?
Oh, his name's Diego, and we don't know what.
Yeah.
How do I describe him?
He stirs the
He's
pot.
hot.
He's hot. He stirs the pot, and he's a lot.
Yeah.
Right?
Damn.
Hot stirs the pot. He's a lot.
He's a lot.
Yeah.
Oh, nice
Like
rhyme.
bullet points.
But obviously, we've seen your characters kind of evolve over each season. So how have your characters grown, and like where do we see them go in this final season?
I'll take
guess
it.
that,
Yeah. All right. I feel like Jessica really in third season she really came into her own and into her own power, and I think this season you really see her settle into that position of being a leader, and she's trying to see how she can have like lasting staying power and influence over the school, even though she's graduating to help the younger generations or grades prosper.
I think Justin has like found himself like sick and tired. He's trying to be a better person. I think he's actually really observant in this later season where he's like realizing the qualities that he sees in his friends, the qualities that he wants to like keep, and the qualities he wants to like let go of. And he's just essentially trying to recover and get better and not be like the center of the problem anymore, but be the like solution.
Mm-hmm.
So Zach in season 3 has like broken for the second time, and kind of his whole future is taken away from him. So he's having to deal with that and figure out what his future is now, which can be tough and which I think a lot of teens can relate with. But how he does it is very different, something that you haven't really seen, a side of Zach you haven't seen before. So, yeah, I think that's all I can say.
Oh, so exciting. So obviously, saying goodbye is obviously hard. So I mean, how are you guys feeling about the show wrapping up, and not filming anymore?
How do you guys feel?
I feel
Is it bittersweet?
it's bittersweet.
Yeah, that's the
yeah,
only
it's totally
word.
bittersweet. I mean,
Yeah.
you leave behind something you worked really hard on, and that has. I experienced so much gratitude, like with the show. Like, it's brought me success. It's brought me like
Artistic
work,
fulfillment.
artistic fulfillment, and
And it's incredibly satisfying to be able to end the show on our own terms.
Yeah.
To be able to be able to wrap up all the storylines and be able to, have the time to to know that this is our final season, and it was like such a beautiful way to wrap everying up. I feel
The
like.
timing was perfect. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just senior year, end of senior year, and when I said good, is like I said, kind of as a joke, but also like it. Yeah, we feel happy with it.
Yeah,
Or at least,
fulfilled.
yeah.
And the show has obviously tackled some tough topics when it comes to teenagers today, and sparked a lot of conversation. So how do you think the show has pushed the needle forward in a positive way for society?
It's definitely started a conversation on both sides, which is amazing. That's how we, I think, can get change in the world, or so people can open the conversation that is uncomfortable to have with children and adults and teenagers and adults and schools and children, vice versa. So I think it really did spark a huge conversation that really wasn't talked about before. And I think over the last 4 years, I've seen so many more TV shows and forms of entertainment that's catered towards young adult or any, age bracket, but really, really tackles mental health. And I feel like, I'm not saying that 13 is the reason for that, but I'm very proud that we were a part of that movement for sure.
Totally. Do you guys have anything to add?
Yeah, I mean, we did treat things very brutally honest in an honest manner, which was one of the first times. And I keep saying that just made it so much. Even if it's a little bit easier for someone watching it to talk about it, because the things that they saw on our show were so extreme, and so if they had a version of that problem, it just made it that much easier to start. So I think, as far as pushing the needle, that's kind of what we're aiming to do, is to normalize things that are normal,
Right.
and that but people don't think are.
Right,
So.
exactly. And then have fans ever reached out to you personally and like talk to you about how your characters have affected them or how the show has affected them?
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like fans have such an emotional attachment to the show because they see themselves like reflected on screen, and it's such a deep, deep attachment, especially when they feel like they haven't really been, or when they feel like their feelings have been validated or they haven't been able to be heard before. And so they definitely reach out and, talk about how they've, it's been a surplus of that, which is kind of amazing, yeah.
Yeah. And can you talk about how the last day of filming was? Like, was there a lot of tears? Like, how did it go?
It was actually a shorter day of
Yeah.
I wasn't on
filming.
the last day.
Yeah, and it was also staggered because there are so many of us.
So many storylines, yeah.
There's like the last 2 weeks. Every day was like somebody's
So
last
sad.
day.
Yeah.
Yeah. And by the end, we're just like,
Bye again.
I think
Probably
that's
like
how I
flies.
was. I was like, okay, yeah, everyone's leaving. Okay. And we like displace ourselves. Everyone, the cast and most of the crew, like they hire a lot of locals, but still there's a lot of like LA-based or New York-based people coming to like make
Or
the show
London-based.
possible. Or London-based. So like, most of us have like a flight to catch.
So I had to pack up my apartment.
Yeah,
Like,
that's where I was like,
I
okay,
can't go to
bye,
dinner.
bye, I love you guys.
I gotta go.
So,
Did you guys get to take anything? Any souvenirs or anything special?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I stole a lot of stuff.
What'd you take?
Same. I took the a Letterman. I took my jersey.
Nice.
Lots of the
I
clothes.
left my Letterman. I'm pissed.
Why would?
You can email
I don't know.
them.
I guess I
you
should
can get
Yeah.
it.
I took a copy of Alien Killer Robots.
Oh,
That's
okay.
good.
That's a
Yeah.
good one.
I took a lot of meaningless stuff like set decoration. Like, I took like picture frames, like practical things for my.
You just put it in your apartment?
Yeah, I was like, what I went into
Alisha's
my.
just like,
Some
Seriously,
pottery barn.
I came with like a cardboard box of just set, like just decoration.
The set deck was so good on the
Nice.
show.
Yeah,
There's a
it was.
variety
Those bedrooms
too.
looked so cool all the
There's a
time.
variety. Took
You guys-
stuff from
you guys
like
had a
Brian-
bedroom. My bedroom was like on
Oh,
location.
yeah.
You guys actually had like an on-set bedroom.
I did.
I didn't get to. Keep
Justin's first apartment was.
Oh,
that was,
yeah.
that was
Oh,
on
well.
the show.